Okay, I think we're live. Good morning, everyone. My name's Akin Daramola from Furnitubes. I'm the specifications manager here at Furnitubes. We have Ernest Opoku with me, who's a marketing manager at Furnitubes. So we're working as a tag team. I'll be doing the presentation while Ernest will be assisting with any questions. But let us start. So in today's session, let's take you to the future where no design problem is unsolvable, where the woes of made to measure are no more. We all love bespoke, but would like you to explore how a modular solution could help you stay on vision, all the while cutting costs. So morning to you all. Morning, Emma. Morning, Mike. Morning, Juan. And morning to everybody else. After this CPD, you will know everything you need to know about modularity, the benefits of using modular solutions, and how you can still achieve your unique vision with our help. Okay, just a bit of housekeeping to start with. So we think that this will last generally 40 minutes to an hour, obviously depending on how much engagement there is from your part, on all your parts. We do encourage in our CPDs really good engagement. So rather than leave questions to the end, please feel free to ask questions in the chat, and Ernest will flag them up with me as we go along. So please don't leave questions to the end. We just really love engagement as we go throughout the presentation. And obviously, yes, please put your mics on mute, but please do ask questions as we go along. So we will commence. So what is modular? Modular are standardized but interchangeable units that can be combined in different ways to produce different outcomes. So parts of them can be added. They can be removed. They can be customized, usually at any point during the installation process. And they can also be retrofitted post-installation as well. So modularity is everywhere. You know, we have it in all sectors. Good morning, Drake. If that's your name. Modularity is everywhere. So we've got it in the motor industry, in computers, sofas, interface and software, even balconies sometimes. And at Furnitubes, we wanted to bring, and we are bringing modularity into street furniture. So why modular? It's to answer the industry needs. We love to design street furniture, but we love designs that solve problems even more. So we wanted more freedom within our standard ranges. We also want to give landscape architects and architects and urban designers more freedom to be creative within budget. And we also wanted to address budget and time constraints for bespoke projects as well. So just to outline some of the benefits of modular solutions. Firstly, it's more cost effective to repair because you can change different slats because all the solutions are bolted together. They're scalable and there are retrofitting options. There are standard pieces. The standard pieces can create versatile outcomes. It is easy to assemble, so installation is a lot cheaper and quicker. And we can guarantee the quality of what's been installed as well, because these standard units have been used time and time again, even though they're in different arrangements. Our modular street furniture approach, we'd like to say similar to Lego. So various individual pieces, when combined, in our case, when bolted together, can be combined to make unique shapes, sizes, and arrangements as well. So we use standard modules which could be straight or curved. We can use different supports and combine all of these together. When we bolt them together, we can create a unique bespoke arrangement, and planters can also be bolted to the arrangement. You can have inner or outer curved backrests or straight backrests, armrests, tablets, chaise longues, all combined depending on the project's requirements and design intent. And furthermore, different timber slat profiles can be used and specified, as well as different steel finishes as well. So we're just going to introduce you to 3 of our modular ranges. So Union, Railroad, and Acry. All 3 modular ranges that combine seating and planting using modular pieces to create bespoke and customized arrangements. So Acry planters, they're our latest modular offering, which comes in the form of Acry, and it's made from recycled steel and crafted from both straight and curved panels. Acry makes it even easier for large planting beds to become part of a wider scheme. It's sustainable and unique, and this solution puts the designer in the driver's seat with more creative license on shapes, curves, and finishes. So Acry is sustainably made from recycled steel and FSC timber, and it's cost-effective solution compared with the traditional masonry walls or smaller sit-on top planters. So the systems offer more creative options in terms of shapes, curves, and finishes. They're all lightweight solutions, ideal for podiums and roof gardens, and they're made to order, and they're retrofitting options as well. So there are 2 different types. There's the Acry 300, which is made from 3 mil thick steel, and the Acry 600, which is made from a 6 mil thick steel panels. Now, the 300 has been tested by Arab engineers to withstand soil and wind loading. So we know what the minimum and the maximum height really should be. So generally, the panels are 2 meters long, both for the straight panels and the curved panels as well. And the heights for Acry 300 range from 300 mil to 1100 mil. And for the 6 mil plates for the Acry 600, which can be curved, it ranges from 300 mil to 900 mil in height. So we can have bespoke panel heights, which can be made to allow for levels and clashes, and they're optional add-on seats and benches. And it's the seats and benches that actually make this very modular, because those are standard modules which can be formed to create bespoke arrangements. There's a choice of steel finishes. So there's a powder-coated mild steel. There's Core 10, which can be used as well, and stainless steel finish. There's a choice of timber with an unfinished natural Iroko, or UV protection can be added to it to lengthen the initial look of the timber so that it doesn't gray as quickly. Morning, Benya. And delivery and installation delivered with all brackets, fixings, and assembly instructions. And the lightweight panels are easy to handle and to install. Hopefully this video works. There we go. So Furnitubes is a UK manufacturer. We make the Acry steel wall planters in the UK, which allows any scale of planter to be created with super fast lead times, anything from 4 to 6 weeks for the lead times. The retaining walls are manufactured at our steel fabricating plant in Sittingbourne in Kent, and the seating is pre-assembled at our warehouse in Gillingham in Kent. So we are Kent-based manufacturer. In terms of how it gets on site, our system is delivered flat packed with easy to follow instructions, and it's really as simple as just bolting them together. If you want, we more than happy to have you to have a factory visit to our steel fabrication plant in Sittingbourne. And you can see how all these things, if you want to geek out over bending and, you know, just fabricating steel in general. Okay. So this is generally how the arrangements are made. This is an example of the Acry 300, which is a 3 mil thick steel panel with a 50 mil return to the top edge. Using your layout or our in-house design team will create the most optimal modules for manufacturing and installation. General arrangements, as the possibilities are near limitless, each project will have a general arrangement drawing before any manufacturing takes place to ensure all expectations are met. Each panel is marked and etched with a unique reference so that it's easy to identify on site. And when they arrive on site, they're ready to bolt together. Fins, panels, top brackets are all bolted together with supplied fixings to provide a solid connection. Yeah, so that's generally how they arrive on site. There are two different foundations, one for ground level and another for podiums and terraces. So the general concrete foundation dimensions are typically 600 by 400 by 450 mil. But obviously, if a different dimension is required, these can be signed off by a structural engineer. They're supplied with the support brackets, and these are also tested for robustness. And you can use the pedestal and tray system for roof gardens and terraces and podiums. That's our general solution for terraces. One thing we always encourage is early engagement when these are being defined, because it's really important to ensure that the groundwork is level. But if it's not, there are possibly other solutions that can be made. So some solutions entail burying more of the plant at one end to overcome level variations and slopes on site, or potentially creating stepped concrete pads for the longer planters. We would recommend that. There are things to consider like the shadow gap as well when you're using core 10, as this might be required to avoid leaching onto the surrounding hard landscape. These are all things to consider when designing these. In terms of the integrated seating, which is what makes this even more of a modular solution, the typical seating height is obviously 450 mil, which means that the planter will sit 400 mil above ground, and then the seating will be bolted onto it. For higher planters, there's the option of cantilever seating or alcove, which will be cut out from the steel planting wall. We like to make designing these easy, and this means we can supply CAD blocks, which makes it really easy to plot these panels onto your GAs. It's really important to engage with us because we are the steel fabricators and we know what the constraints are. Say, for example, if a panel is anything less than 45 degrees angle in a corner, that could form a problem in terms of being able to secure supports on both sides of the corner. And in terms of the bending, we tend to keep it at a minimum radius of 600 mil. Anything tighter will be a struggle to bend. So these are constraints to keep in mind. And when it comes to the seating, you can use the standard modules to create many different types of arrangements. The standard radii are 1 meter radius, planter wall radius, 1500, 2000, and 2500. They're the corners, which is 90-degree corners, 120-degree, 135, and 150 as well. So all of these can be mixed and matched to create bespoke arrangements. We supplied this for Bellway Homes at Eastside Quarter. It's the Acry 300 range, and this was This actually had to be AFI rated in terms of the planter that was supplied. So rather than making the seating, the integrated seating out of timber, we actually made it out of steel instead. Some people might not like that, but that's generally what was required to make the whole scheme AFI rated for the terrace. Another example here, Duke's Court. This is made from Corten. It was made for Woking Borough Council, the Acry 300 straight panels. This was especially challenging because of the level changes, but we were able to overcome those. And also for the hard landscape, they actually created a gap just to allow for the leaching of the Corten steel when it's still being cured to go straight into drainage rather than onto the hard landscape. This is Duke's Court from another angle. Okay. The next modular range is Union. All modules are standard for Union and can be configured in any way to create unique seating and planting areas. They are made from durable polyethylene material. Those are what the bases are made from, and can create unique seating and planting areas. They're light enough to be moved around, sturdy enough to not get stolen, which sometimes is a concern, and perfect for public areas with high traffic. There are 14 different modules made or created from the same single trapezoidal mold base. So some of it can be part seating, some full seating, could be a part planter or full planter. And generally the height is 430 high above ground. They're made with adjustable feet as well, which solves the any leveling concerns. And the visible grooves on the side and the top make it easy for alignment as well. So I did touch on the trapezoidal shape. So the trapezoid shape of the Union module means that they can be placed together in geometrical arrangements that are both decorative and functional at the same time. So they can be configured in a linear fashion. And so you can maybe opt for an island configuration or more intimate seating configuration. Planter units can also be placed, presenting even more design possibilities. So social distance might be achieved by dividing seats with planters. That's also possible. The base is made from low density polyethylene, which is recyclable and available in a choice of colors and effects. So either black or mottled stone effect colors or bright colors. The seating is made from Iroko timber and is supplied with UV protected finish, but it could also come as untreated and natural. Okay. This is an arrangement that was used by Innova Apartments in Croydon. So they went more for the island arrangement, which incorporated seating and some planting. And recently, these were delivered to Kings Mall in Hammersmith in London, just outside Acry, and also on one of the roof terraces as well. This is what the arrangement looks like on the roof terrace. In conjunction with BDP, they were able to create, both straight edges and then also tapered edges from using the same shape. It's a really good use of the Union range. Okay. And then lastly, Railroad presents endless possibilities, combining all standard modules and optional add-ons. There's straight sections, 3 different radii curves, internal and external backrests, armrests, tablet surfaces. These are all standard modules from the Railroad family that can be configured in a way that creates a very bespoke seating solution. You can also have narrow modules as well, and that you can have back to front slats or side to side slats, which we call the inline modules. There's also the possibility to have tables and benches as well. So this allows for a project to have a suited range of street furniture, all based on the same design intent. As other ranges, it's made from recycled steel, and all the modules are standard and can be configured in any way to create unique seating solutions. So you really do have the creative license as a designer. Okay. Modular and customizable seating. Railroad can come with 3 different supports. So either the railroad edge, the railroad loop, or the railroad delta. You can see that the edge has a more straight cut timber profile. The loop has the more rounded timber profile, and the delta is more angular timber profile. They, depending on what's required on site, sometimes the loop is used when a project needs varying heights. So these can be supplied with different lengths for the supports, which allows varying heights for the seating. Generally, we use the edge if we want to connect them to planters, because it has a straight edge and the planter is also straight. And we do find the delta is very popular because many people like that angled look, and they're also very easy to install. Both the edge and the delta can literally just be bolted into the hard landscape.
Kim, before you move on,
okay,
we have a couple of questions. We have one from Emma.
Just
She's wondering if
show
we have
you
CAD
some of
Blocks
the
and DWG
possibilities.
files for any of these products.
Yep.
We also have another question here from James Hogan.
Okay, that will be touched on literally in the next slide.
When placed on grass,
Very good
can
question.
earth or any topsoil be mounted against the sides of the units to sit them into the landscape in a more organic way, or do they always have to sit fully above the surface?
It depends on which one you're using. So say, for example, if the loop is very useful for subsurface fixings, I can send some. There's actually an installation where it was bolted to a concrete pad, but that was subsurface, and that way it's also covered by soft landscape on the top. So that is a possibility, especially with the loop support. And then when it comes to the delta, that can be fully surface mounted. And one solution that some people have used is to bolt planters onto either side of a delta bench or an edge bench, and that way it's so heavy and it can be literally surface mounted. I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, please ask a follow-up question. Thanks very much, Ernest. So this just shows a few of the possibilities with the railroad range. So different supports can be used. Planters can be bolted to the arrangement. Backrests, armrests, tablets can be curved or straight in terms of the seating units. Backrest can be straight, inner curve or outer curve. You can attach the chaise long. The armrest can either be just steel or with timber pads. And it's all manufactured in Kent. To answer your question about CAD, we at Furnitubes, we want to make things as simple as possible for specifiers to specify and to produce their drawings. So we can supply CAD blocks, and generally how they work is that you can either have a start, mid, however many mids, and attach an end to it. They can be straight. They're 3 different radii, so that's 1.25, 2.5, and 3.75. or you can have a start and an end, or you can just have independent benches on their own with the supports. There's also the narrow version, which can be used. The only thing is, if backrests are required, you do need to use a standard 700 width seating. So these can be supplied for easy drawings. And these are some of the possibilities in terms of arrangements that can be made from the curved and straight edges. Okay. Planters can also be bolted onto the arrangements. They're different lengths for planters, and some of them could be standard, while others, they're standard, and they're forkliftable planters as well, which are available if they're needed for the site. And this just shows what they look like from the elevation view and the cross-sectional view as well for all the modules. On site at the Bullring, can see that the Bullring Limited Partnership used the seating and planting elements. There's some behind which are just planters on their own, while others are bolted onto seating platforms. Some have backrests. They use the timber pads and some armrests as well. This is it from another angle. Green Dragon House. This was used on a roof terrace, and they used the railroad to create a planting and seating solution. In Dulwich, they've been used as parklets, so just to extend for pavement extensions.
Sorry, Ken, just one more question.
And the same in Vauxhall as well. Vauxhall 1 used that.
Wondering if any of this furniture are available as families in Revit
conclusion,
architecture for design purposes.
Mm-hmm. Very good question. I was at SpecifedBy in Leeds, the exhibition, and we spoke to quite a few architects, and they said that it's really important to be able to, it will make designing very easy if they're available in Revit. What we currently have are 3D step files, which we can supply. And if those could be converted to Revit, we're more than happy to supply 3D step files. But this is something that we're definitely looking into. And we're hoping by the end of this year, we'll have Revit versions of these, as I imagine it would really help with the initial stages of specification. Good question. Thank you. So to sum up, it's cost effective to use modular solutions, easy to cost up for schemes. There's less room for error compared to bespoke street furniture. We have CADs available. If you need them, please request them. I will be more than happy to share them. There's standard lead times, sometimes even quicker, anything from 4 to 6 weeks for the planting walls. And if timber needs to be assembled with it, generally 6 to 8 weeks, all coming from our factory and warehouse in Kent. And there's less complexity, so no need for bespoke drawings. Just on a side note, yes, if you come to us with a street furniture inquiry, what we always try to do is find a standard solution, then look for a modular solution to create a bespoke arrangement. But if the project value is right, we've got very good design engineers who, if it's 25,000 plus, they can customize one of our standard ranges. Say, for example, if it's a 1.25 radius curve, but maybe you need 1.5, we're able to flex it, and we'd be more than happy to do that as part of our design services. And for projects which are more than £50,000 in terms of value to Furnitubes, we're more than happy to look at bespoke inquiries. So here's some examples of customized inquiries that we've done in the past. So this is for Strand Aldwych, which is still currently being built by FM Conway. So this is what the railroad pieces look like. And they actually wanted some railroad wall tops without the supports. So we were able to design this for them with we must say, quite bespoke radii, but that's something we were able to do. Another example is here at University of Leicester, where we were able to cantilever the railroad seat on an extra large railroad planter. And other examples of bespoke work that we've done. This is at Christchurch Gardens. And this is an interesting design, actually, because here they really wanted to go for the chunky timber look, but rather than having chunky timber being used throughout the seat, we utilized the fascia to make it look like it was chunky. I hope that explains things. So the fascia, the end fascia, which means that we ended up using less timber throughout the scheme. And this is what it looks like on site. Some bespoke wall top seats. And finally, another bespoke job that we did was at Thomas More Square. This was actually quite unique because it also required some integrated lighting as well. And this is what we were able to achieve. Okay. So thank you very much. I'm Akin Daramola. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay. So thank you very much. Please all have a great Friday and an amazing weekend. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, James. Thanks, Barry. Thanks, Juan. Thank you, Ini. And thank you, Nilesh. Thanks, Drik or Dr. Eek. Okay, thank you all. Bye. Thanks, Asita. Thanks, Mike.